I'm standing in the largest Commonwealth War Graves cemetery anywhere in the world. 11,900 graves, of whom the British are 8,900. Of that number, 70% are unknown, which is a huge number. And the site is called Tyne Cot, named because the first troops up here from the northeast of England, the Northumberland Fusiliers, reckoned that the German bunkers, of which there are 2,000, looked like the cottages in Tyneside. This was fought over in 1917, beginning in the autumn and finishing in November. The attack initially was successful, but then the rains came. And with the drainage shot to pieces by artillery, basically everything bogged down. And this is when you had the horrendous conditions of people and horses, tanks and artillery, supply carts drowning in these ponds of soup, just disappearing. The Australians got to where I'm standing, some 8,000 yards from Ypres. 2 Australian divisions reached here, but they were shot to pieces, basically, and couldn't go any further. So the Canadian Corps moved up, took over from here, and in the last month actually advanced and took Passchendaele, which is the highest point in this area. Ironically, in 1918, in the spring offensive, the Germans, with overwhelming might, drove us out of here until Ypres was almost taken. It never was. It was surrounded on 3 sides until the German offensive was stopped. To be fair, it wasn't just British arms that stopped the offensive. The Germans actually ran out of supplies. They outran their supplies and couldn't keep up the momentum. Anyhow, there was a moment's pause, and then the Allied advanced to come up here where I am. In the middle there is the cross of sacrifice, and that is on top of a bunker. And it is said that when King George V visited here after the war, he suggested that that cross should be placed on top of this captured bunker. It's also said that in fine weather, that cross can be seen from the sea, which I guess is about 15 miles away that way, can be seen from the North Sea. At the back of the wall, there is 35,000 missing with no known graves on the wall there, the overflow from the Menin Gate. And unusually, there is a circular area up there with the names of 1,100 New Zealanders on it, missing. The New Zealanders always chose to put their missing as near to the scene of action as possible. So you had a lot of New Zealand memorials to the missing situated over the battlefields. Here, they chose to be amongst the British, some of the 35,000 who were missing after the 15th of August 1917. When you left for the front, you were living heroes, and now you're on top of the hill where only poppies blow. It's hard to believe these were ever trees, these skeleton hands thrust in vain supplication from the foul-churned mud, or that once plump birds sat preening and cheeping in the soft green of spring, now splintered and chewed like giant toothpicks, barren. No birds, nor bees, nor blossom, only the dark rumble of approaching minenwerfers and the bright autumnal flash of bursting shells. A yellow tide rolls silent across the torn land, filling hollows and shell holes with a clinging, choking cloud of desperate, reeking slaughter. Men stumble, blind and reeling, lungs filling with blood and acid blisters, among the lucky ones head mass, saucer-eyed like human squid in a sulphurous sea. Lines of blind men crocodile to crowded dressing stations, sliding, halting, feeling their way, gripping a comrade's shoulder, like the innocent volunteers of 1914. Tyne Cot will be the scene on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of huge commemorations.